Hi everyone, it's Barbara and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I thought it would be neat to take something that you would normally throw away and turn it into a home decor piece. I am using this Hawaiian Punch container and I went ahead and removed the label and what little pieces of label that I couldn't get off and the stickiness, I used some nail polish remover to get the rest of that off. It has some handles on the side of it, and I'm going to go along the bottom part of those handles and just draw a straight line from the top to the bottom right there in those ridges. And I'm going to do that on both sides so that I can have a nice straight edge to know where to cut. I'm going to go in with a utility knife and very carefully cut along the line that I've already drawn. And when I get to the bottom, I'm going to go along the ridge right there at the bottom on the left-hand side, so you'll still have the bottom part of the container. And then I'll also do that at the top, going along the ridge on the right-hand side, so you'll still have the top part of the container, until I get to the other side where I originally drew the line, and then I will come down and cut that. What little pieces I don't get, I can go in with some scissors and just snip those off. Once I have the top off, I'm going to take the lid off of this container and then cut the pieces, the plastic pieces that are on the top. Now this part right here, if you're going to recreate this, you do not need to cut this off. I originally cut it off, but I do add it back on because I think it looks better with it back on. I then reapplied the top, and I'm going to take 2 of these paint stir sticks. I get these in a package of 30 from Lowe's for $1. And because we have cut the top out, it is a little bit wobbly. So to give it a little bit of support, I'm going to use these craft sticks and attach them to the inside of both of those edges. And I'm putting just a little bit of glue because I didn't want to melt the plastic. And I'm going to hold those sticks in place until that glue sets up. And again, I did that for both sides. And then it does make it a little bit more sturdy and not so wobbly. Now for the bottom, it has this indention in there, and I am using one of these wood circles. These you can get in a package from Walmart. It has 6 in a pack, and it was a perfect fit for the bottom of this. And I'm just going to attach that using some hot glue. And then hold that in place until the glue sets up. For the feet for this container, I am using some of these blocks. These came from a brain teaser game from Dollar Tree. Now they do have holes in it, so you want to make sure that you place your holes so that they're not visible. I'm going to use the first ring and the top ring and the bottom ring to line up these feet and attach them with some hot glue. Now I'm going to set those to the side for a minute to create the ears because I'm making a pig plant container. I just drew this out on a piece of paper and cut it out, and I left that bottom piece so that I would be able to use that to attach to the container. I'm now using a piece of this metal, aluminum tin from Dollar Tree. You can get 2 of these for $1. And I cut the flat part out, and then I'm using my scraper, but you can use anything with a straight edge like a card or a ruler just to smooth that out to get all of those little indentions out. Then I'm going to take my template and trace that with a Sharpie and create 2 of these. And then I can take my scissors and cut these out. Now, because this is aluminum, it is a little bit sharp, so you want to take your time and really be careful while you're cutting these out. Once I have both of these cut out, I am going to paint them, and I'm going to paint them using my Waverly white chalk paint. And I give these 2 coats on both sides. And I am also going to use my Waverly white chalk paint to paint the actual container itself. Now the container itself will take 2 coats, and I'm just making sure that I'm putting even paint strokes on there, and I'm putting a thin amount so that it'll be pretty much smooth because this is chalk paint. You kind of want to get it as smooth as you can. Now after the first coat is when I realized I did not like the gap between the lid and right under there, so I am going to reapply that plastic piece back on there, and I'm just going to put that down with some hot glue. And then once I get that in place, I can give this its second coat of paint. And after the second coat of paint has dried, this is how it looks. And I did make sure that I painted the craft sticks on the inside so that you wouldn't be able to see those. Now for the edges, I really didn't like the edges because they looked pretty rough. I'm going to take some buffalo check ribbon. Now this ribbon came from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to hold that up, and then I'm going to fold it in half so that one half drapes over the outside of the container and one half drapes on the inside of the container. To attach this, I am going to be using a combination of Mod Podge and hot glue. Now the Mod Podge is going to keep the ribbon from fraying, and I didn't want to put a lot of hot glue under there so that you would be able to see. I didn't want the glue to seep through the top part of the ribbon. So I'm going to start off with the Mod Podge, and then I'll go in with my hot glue on the outside edges to hold those down in place so that it doesn't move around. Once I have that side in place, I'm going to go ahead and begin applying the back part of the ribbon. I'm just going to hold that up and then cut out a notch where the original ribbon goes so that it will somewhat blend as it goes around. And then when I get to the other side, I'll leave enough room for the ribbon on that end. I hope that makes sense. I'm just going to apply it with the Mod Podge. That way it would wrap around the inside and you'll still be able to see the side part of the ribbon. And then I'll attach the other side, and then I'll also go in and do the top part of this container. Now the top part, I am not going to hot glue anything to the front. I'm going to put Mod Podge on there, but before I put any hot glue under there, I'm going to attach the ears. I'm just going to fold that piece backwards, and that is the piece that I'm going to glue down to the container, and I'm going to bend the ear forward somewhat, and then I can cut the two corners down so that you won't be able to see those. And then I can go in and add some hot glue to the bottom of that, and then I can slide that right under the ribbon and attach that with some hot glue. So you just want to hold it in place to see exactly where you want to put it before you glue it down. And then I will do the exact same thing for the other ear. And once I have that one in place, I can go in and add a little bit of hot glue to the ribbon in the front to hold that in place so it doesn't move around. And then any of the edges that you have on your ribbon, you want to make sure that you go over those with some Mod Podge so that they don't fray. Now on the sides, I didn't particularly like the way it looked where the two sides meet in the front. So I'm just going to fold the corner up before that Mod Podge sets in. So I thought that that would just make it an easier transition from the front to the side. And I'm just going to hot glue that corner up, and I'll do the exact same thing on the other side. And then I took a pencil and just hand drew two eyes and two nostrils, and then I'm going to go over those with my oil-based black Sharpie marker. And after I have that done, I'm going to create the tail, and I am using a black chenille stem, and I'm just going to bend the end over and then wrap that around my paintbrush until I get the length I want. And then I'll cut that down, and this piece that I bent is what I'll be attaching to the back of the container. And then I'll just squeeze that together to make it a little bit shorter, and then I can attach that to the container using some hot glue. Then I took one of Dollar Tree's styrofoam blocks and cut that in half so that I can put florals in here. And it was the absolute perfect fit to be able to put these two half blocks in there. To decorate it, I am using some boxwood greenery from Walmart, and I ended up using 3 bundles. And I just cut my stems off of the bundle, and I'm just going to place those in until it gets nice and full. Now you could decorate this with whatever you like. You can leave it with just the greenery, but I am going to spruce it up a little bit for Easter to give it a little bit of color for spring and for Easter. And I'm going to be using some of Dollar Tree's florals. And for this particular one, I'm going to be using, they're called bellflowers. So I'm just going to cut these off of the bundle, and then I'm also going to remove the leaves because it has enough greenery in there. I just wanted these pops of color, and I'm going to place that all throughout, until I have it nice and full. And then you can just move your greenery around and fluff it out. And I think this little pig planter container turned out absolutely adorable. It came from something that you would normally discard or throw away and just turned it into a very beautiful home decor piece. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. And if you are new here and you enjoyed today's video, I would love you to click that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to check my description box for my social media accounts as well as my website. Please take care. I'll see you guys next time.